The whole world. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Lakshmi Narasimha Swamy ki jai, Radha Govind ki jai, Tulsi Maharani ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudhiraye Nashtapraye Shabadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 24 and Text 28. Bahum Janma Vipakvena Bahujanma Vipakvena Samyak Yoga Samadhina Samyag Yoga Samadhina Drastum Yatante Yatayaha Drastum Yatante Yatayaha Sunyaghareshu Yatpadam Sunyaghareshu Yatpadam Bahujanma Vipakvena Samyag Yoga Samadhina Drastum Yatante Yatayaha Shunyagareshu Yatpadam Bahujanma Vipakvena Samyag Yoga Samadhina Drastum Yatante Yatayaha Shunyagareshu Yatpadam. Bahu, many, Janma, after birth, Vipakvena, which is mature, Samyak, perfect, Yoga Samadhina, by trance in yoga, Drastum, to see, Yatante, they endeavor, Yatayaha, the yogis, Shunya Agareshu, in secluded places, Yat, whose, Padam, feet. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: after many births, mature yogis, by complete trance in yoga, endeavor in secluded places to see the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Please repeat. After many births, mature yogis, by complete trance in yoga, endeavor in secluded places to see the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Some important things are mentioned here about yoga. The word Bahujanma Vipakvena means after many births of mature yoga practice. And another word, Samyak Yoga Samadhina, means by complete practice of the yoga system. Complete practice of yoga means Bhakti Yoga. Unless one comes to the point of Bhakti Yoga or surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one's yoga practice is not complete. This same point is corroborated in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bahunam Janmanamante. After many births, the Jnani, who has matured in transcendental knowledge, surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Kardam Muni repeats the same statement. After many years and many births of complete practice of yoga, one can see the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord in a secluded place. It is not that after one practices some sitting postures, he immediately becomes perfect. One has to perform yoga a long time, many births, to become mature. And a yogi has to practice in a secluded place. One cannot practice yoga in a city or in a public park and declare that he has become God simply by some exchange of dollars. This is all bogus propaganda. Those who are actually yogis practice in a secluded place, and after many births, they become successful provided they surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the completion of yoga. Dasanstha Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnana Timiran Dasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Kardama Muni is offering his prayers to Lord Vishnu. He is explaining how the mature yogis are the ones who are able to have the darshan of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Samyak Yoga Samadhina, the yogi practitioner has reached Samadhi, the stage of Samadhi, and so that is called Samyak Yoga. It's a perfect stage of practice of yoga. And then how will they reach this Samadhi? Bahujanma Vipakvena. This maturity builds up over the many janmas, Bahujanma, and once he is completely Vipakvena, we have this word in Telugu, Pakva, that means become mature, ripen. So he becomes mature in this process of yoga, comes to the stage of Samadhi, and then there what happens? Drashtum yatante yatayaha. He will have, he will see the Yat Padam, the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, where Shunyagareshu, because yoga is supposed to be practiced in a secluded place. Shunyagareshu. Shunya means secluded. So, Prabhupada is mentioning this yoga practice that we see in modern life, particularly in the 60s. When Prabhupada was in America, it was a big trend to practice yoga system. And the popular trend was you pay some dollars and practice some kind of a yoga system in the city or in some public park, and then they used to declare that now we have become God. Just by paying some dollars, one becomes God. So in the Patanjali, actually this Ashtanga Yoga is based on the Patanjali Yoga Suktas, and there he mentions Kaivalyam Chit Shakti. He mentions about reaching a stage called Kaivalya. So after there are Purushadhas, are there 4 Purushadhas: Dharmadha, Kama, Moksha. Many people, they follow Dharma in order to get Ardha, money. And then once money is there, then they will be chasing Kama, fulfilling their desires. And then once they are baffled in those attempts to fulfill the desires, when they are frustrated, then they come to Kaivalya, oneness. They want moksha. Like yesterday, I met somebody, he's from cine industry. He's saying, my goal is moksha, and because he's fed up with all those movies and this and that. Although millions are excited about seeing these movies, but that actor or whoever, producer, he himself is frustrated. He is saying, now I want moksha, Swamiji is. And so this Kaivalya, many people misunderstand. Moksha means they think complete oneness with the Supreme Lord. They think they have become one. Very common statement. But actually, in Bhagavad Gita, it is explained about this stage, Samadhi. Here it is said, Yatro paramate chittam niruddham yoga sevaya yatra chaivatmanatmanam pashyan atmani tushyati. The stage of perfection is called trance or samadhi, when one's mind is completely restrained from material mental activities by practice of yoga. This is characterized by one's ability to see the self by the pure mind and to relish and rejoice in the self. So the practice of this yoga leads to samadhi, where he will be able to see the super soul. Through his transcendental mind and intelligence, he can see the super soul. And then here it is mentioned that once he sees like that, in that joyous state, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness and enjoys himself through transcendental senses. So here, after he has drashtum, he sees super soul, he goes into a joy state, a boundless happiness. Happiness means there should be 2 personalities. That is happiness. Joy state. That means he is there and the super soul is there. And when he had the darshan, he has a boundless transcendental happiness, ever increasing happiness. And so, if you say monism, Kaivalya, that means you become one with the super soul, then where is this happiness? If you merge into the super soul, then where is the question of happiness? Happiness means there must be 2. So here, once he enjoys such transcendental pleasure, then what happens? he never departs from the truth. And upon gaining this, he thinks there is no greater gain. So he always, if somebody reaches such a nice, joyous state, a state full of transcendental happiness, then nothing in this world can attract him, and no challenge can deviate him from the path. These are the actual yoga means to get rid of this material concepts. Removing these material concepts is the process of yoga. And particularly yoga means it involves two things. One is to control the senses, and one more is to purify the fruitive activities. These are the two aspects of yoga. So if somebody is engaged in sense gratification day and night, and if he says, I am practicing yoga, it's actually, Prabhupada, this is just a bogus propaganda. Nobody can advance anything if he is determined to enjoy in this world and at the same time progress in yoga. These two are contradictory. And the real goal of yoga is mentioned here, that one has to have drashtum yathante yatayaha yat padam. So one has to have darshan of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So actually, let us say we all know that I am not this body, I am a spirit soul. To come to this stage, this is Jnana Yoga, where one understands that I am not this body, I am a spirit soul. Theoretically understanding Jnana, that is one level, one stage. But to really put that into practice, to realize that, one has to do a lot of austerities. He has to get rid of those bodily concepts, and that is this Ashtanga Yoga, where by taking the body through those difficult asanas and exercises, one should come to the platform that yes, I am not this body. He will be able to perceive. So once he comes to the position that I am not this body, I am a spirit soul, he simultaneously, he should be able to see the super soul. That's why here it is said, Samyag Yoga Samadhina. But if this yogi who is doing all these asanas and trying to come out of the material concepts, let us say he doesn't know Krishna, he doesn't have devotion, then he will not come to the super soul. He will think, he will be diverted by the byproducts of yoga, little health and some perfection in life. He comes to know some methods to focus on, work, like that, and then he becomes diverted by all such benefits of yoga. But that is not the Samyak Yoga Samadhina. That is not the perfection. And then more difficult than this Ashtanga Yoga is to do our work without expecting any results. Following some harder, taking lot of austerities in this Ashtanga Yoga is very hard, not easy. So where you understand I am not this body, but after understanding I am not this body, with that body you have to work. Continuously being cognizant that I am not this body. That is even more. So working without expectation, that means selflessly working, only for the sake of, not for the sake of results, but as a matter of duty. Jai Radha Govinda ki jai. So this is Karma Yoga. Without expecting results, doing as a duty, this is Karma Yoga. And then working only for Krishna, that is Bhakti Yoga. The focus is on Krishna directly, that is Bhakti Yoga. We will see in the next shloka how the Bhakti Yoga is superior to all these other paths. So, this kind of a process, if somebody takes up, it takes many, many lives. Bahujanma vipakvena. It's not a cheap thing to really be able to come to the platform of seeing Krishna. It's not a cheap thing. Like some people will say, yesterday I saw Krishna, day before I spoke to Radharani, and then what are you doing, sir? Smoking BD. This is his drashtum. So it is not so easy like that. To have, to be able to see the lotus feet of Krishna is such difficult, So here Kaddama Muni is recognizing. Bahujanma vipakvena. Actually, this path is not easy. The Ashtanga Yoga begins by going to a secluded place, shunyagareshu, and one should practice complete celibacy if one has to practice Ashtanga Yoga. Not possible for the married people to practice this yoga. Not possible. Married people, they can progress only in Bhakti Yoga. In this Ashtanga Yoga, that is ruled out, complete celibacy. And then Shunyagareshu, secluded place. Nowadays, where is a secluded place? Everything is crowded. Wherever you go, there is crowd. Previously, Himalayas means only these yogis and tapasvis, they used to go and practice for the spiritual upliftment. And but nowadays, things have changed. Now they go to Himalayas to conquer the topmost peak. There are these people, they go, they climb, and then they put the flag there, and they take a photograph and immediately post. I don't know whether there will be Wi-Fi or there, but immediately they want to post on Instagram or YouTube. I have conquered Himalaya. I conquered this. This is their endeavor. So where is the secluded place, first of all? Even if you find one, there are so many regulations out there. The goal is to somehow control the mind. That's why in the 6th chapter Krishna says, one should use his mind to uplift himself. Mind can be your friend or mind can be your enemy, but an intelligent person should make the mind one's friend. He should assist in our progress in this spiritual line. If somebody uses the mind to progress in his sense gratification, satisfaction of the senses, then the mind becomes enemy. Mind is by nature attracted to indriya, trupti. it is continuously meditates on enjoyment of the senses. As the mind focuses more on this kind of an enjoyment, more we become dissatisfied. Dissatisfaction is because there is a focus on indriya trupti. This is the dissatisfaction. But if somebody fortunately diverts the mind towards these beautiful descriptions of Krishna in Bhagavatam or Mahabharata and scriptures like that, then slowly the mind will become one's friend. So controlling this mind is this yogic process. Then after controlling the mind, what should one do? That is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says one should focus on me. After controlling the mind, one should focus on Krishna. Making Krishna as one's goal of life. You see this? In Bhakti Yoga, it is ulta. We make Krishna as ultimate goal of life, and mind slowly comes under control. In this Ashtanga Yoga, first you have to bring the mind under control and then focus on the Lord. As soon as Arjuna hears this, he says, not possible. How can I control my mind? Not at all possible for me. Because Arjuna is a Gruhastha, a commander, he is into politics, and then so he said it is not possible for me to bring the mind under control. So Prabhupada always used to give this argument that something that Arjuna could not accept, how is it possible for a common man? Not possible. It is a bona fide process because it is given by Krishna, but it is given in order to conquer the senses and mind, and also to purify the fruitive activities. So this is the process that Krishna gave. It is not meant to enhance one's spirit, the bodily enjoyments. That is not the idea behind this yogic process. So if somebody is sincere like that, then he can progress. But Arjuna is doubtful. He says, Krishna, what will happen if somebody is trying his best to practice this yoga, but he falls off because of some attraction, diversion? Then Krishna assures him, no, he will continue to progress. In the next life, he automatically comes back to this yoga process. So like that, it may take many years, and then finally he can come to the stage, Bahujanma Vipakvena. He can come to the, Prabhupada is quoting here that Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadya. Sometimes this Dhyana Yoga is included under the broad category of Jnana Yoga. There are 3 categories in Bhagavad Gita: Karma Yoga, first 6 chapters; Jnana Yoga, the last 6 chapters; and middle 6 chapters is Bhakti Yoga. Sometimes this Dhyana Yoga is also comes under Jnana, this Jnana Yoga portion. So Prabhupada is quoting here this, yes, after many births, the Jnani matures in transcendental knowledge. And then what is that maturity in transcendental knowledge? Vasudevam Sarvamithi. He says, Lord is, Vasudeva is everything. And then he surrenders to him. So we can read the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita to get an understanding of what this Ashtanga Yoga is, and then how such a yogi perceives the super soul everywhere. So that is connected to Vasudevam Sarvamiti. So that's why, but then in this age, all these things are not easy. Sunyaghareshu, just to get a secluded place It is not possible. Nor one can leave his family or go somewhere and then practice all these things. It is not possible. Because it is not possible, the acharyas have given a wonderful process, this Sankirtan process, which includes all these yogic results. Everything is included in this. Let us say somebody goes for preaching. He goes for book distribution. He has to, first of all, he has to know what is there inside the book. So that the Jnana Yoga results are already there. By reading Prabhupada's book, he comes to know the truth. Then he has to take a lot of austerity, hard work. Take the bag and take all those books, go out, and you have to tell many people, approach them. As hard work is there. And that is, you already have Ashtanga Yoga results. And then whether somebody purchases, after approaching somebody, whether he takes or not, whether Siddhi or Asiddhi, you go on with your service to Krishna, that means Karma Yoga is there, without expecting any results. Karma Yogi is not bothered whether it is positive or negative, that result is also there. All the results are included in this Sankirtan preaching. So if a devotee sincerely works for Krishna, he goes on on this Sankirtan, he reaps the benefits of all these yogic processes. Such a simplification. And so, this is the book marathon, book distribution marathon. You can experience all these yogas in action just by nicely preaching this message, distributing these books, and going on with this service, whether on that particular day, whether you are able to distribute or not. A devotee should not be discouraged if there is no result. He should not be discouraged. Conditioned life means you work so hard and at the end you don't get anything, you will be discouraged and next day you will not go for any work. I say, no, sab chodo bhai again. No result will come. But devotee is not like that. Karyam karma. It is my duty to serve my spiritual master. Whether something comes today or not, doesn't matter. I have to go for preaching. It could be book distribution preaching. It could be life membership preaching. It could be youth preaching or congregation preaching, Krishna life preaching, whatever may be the thing. Whether you see the result or don't see the result, sincerely one should work for the satisfaction of Guru and Krishna. It's a very exalted state of working. And such a devotee, you will see very steadily he goes on doing his duties. He is not hampered by these results. He is geared up. Yes, one more day, one more day. He is happy by offering that endeavor. He is very happy to attempt, to make an attempt, to make more attempts. He is happy to make more and more attempts. He is not seeking any result of enjoyment. He is in giving mode. He gives more of his endeavor, more of his energy, more of his time, and he is happy about it. So this will help you in your chanting. Chanting time also, the devotee is in the mood of happily offering seva. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. After telling this mantra, whether he becomes happy or not, that's immaterial. It's not that I chant now, I need a lot of happiness now. No. You happily chant. You are be happy to give one more seva, one more seva, one more. One mantra means one more seva, one. That kind of a selflessness, when it comes, then our services becomes very easy. We'll stop here. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam.